Golden profit from copper scrap. On the outskirts of Milan, Italy, you will find the factory where Continuus Properzi S.p.A. designs and manufactures special equipment and complete lines for the production of non-ferrous commodities such as rod and ingots. Research and innovation have been the driving force of Continuus Properzi since its inception in 1947, when Mr. Ilario Properzi developed his patents pertaining to the revolutionary method of continuous casting and direct rolling of non-ferrous rod. Since that time, hundreds of Properzi rod lines, commissioned worldwide, have produced the vast majority of conductors that have shaped our world. The design of our equipment is implemented using the most modern technologies available, for example 3D finite element method, and of course the skills of our expert designers who have extensive experience in this highly specialized sector. Contrary to the general trend of European and American companies who have gradually shifted their manufacturing out of their countries, Properzi believes the achievement of the highest repeatable quality of the equipment is accomplished with a specific culture and sustained reinvestment. For this reason, year after year, the Continuus Properzi factory has been equipped with the most modern CNC computer numerical control machines, such as the new Hermel 5-axis CNC machining center. One of the best evergreen achievements that we wish to present is the technology to resurrect copper scrap with a controlled quantity of impurities into clean copper. For many years, the worldwide industry has referred to copper rod produced using Properzi equipment as FRHC, Fire-Refined High Conductivity Rod, although the FRHC copper has been successfully used for casting rod, billets, slabs, or ingots. Whatever the final application, the heart of the plant is one or more tiltable reverberatory refining furnaces with a nominal capacity ranging from the smallest 40 tons up to 250 tons or larger. The input material is 100% copper scrap, with a copper content higher than 93 to 94%, provided that harmful impurities such as nickel, tellurium and/or silver do not exceed certain values as detailed in the technical documents. This process can be extremely profitable, and you really can make considerable profit by turning low-grade copper scrap into FRHC rod. The copper scrap is loaded into appropriate buckets in either bulk form or compacted shape. These buckets are then transported to the furnace area and loaded one by one in the skip hoist that brings the container, the bucket, full of scrap from floor level up to the opening of the charging door. In fact, a recent patent from Giulio Properzi facilitates the loading of the furnace from the top rather than from a lateral door, thereby creating greater thermal efficiency and limited fume emissions during the entire process. By taking advantage of the increased room within the furnace, due to the new position of the charging door and the geometry of the roof, a much higher quantity of scrap can be charged per loading cycle. Once the metal is ready for the casting operation, the continuous casting and rolling line starts its operation. The liquid metal is poured through the tun dish into the vertical spout and then flows into the continuous closed mold determined by the copper ring mold and the steel belt, controlled by the most modern automatic level monitoring and control. The cast bar is automatically handled by the appropriate pressing rolls and conveyors during the transitory phases, and the process parameters are safely set from the HMIs, thereby making the operator's job easier than ever. The rolling operations are performed by a train of 2 rolling mills operating in tandem. The roughing mill uses 5 two-roll rolling stands exercising vertical and horizontal forces on the cast bar. It generates a very high reduction rate in the bar to ensure the proper internal structure of the copper rod to enhance the best drawability. The Model 11 finishing mill uses 8 traditional Properzi 3-roll rolling stands to produce 8mm rod. Larger diameters up to 22mm or greater can also be produced. Protection of the environment has not been neglected. To eliminate sources of pollution, the rolling mills are equipped with fume enclosures and access covers. When the access covers are closed, all fumes are condensed inside the enclosures. The calibration operations of these stands are very easy and repeatable. After removing the stand from the basement, the gauging and alignment of the work rolls is performed by simply operating cams via externally mounted screws and by inserting proper shims into the shim housing without having to disassemble or remove anything other than the entry and exit guides to allow the installation of the special Properzi optical instrument and projecting lamp. The outlet guide of each stand is equipped with a special safety device that, in the unlucky event of cobble formation, immediately actuates the electrodynamic stopping of the rolling mill to prevent further cobble propagation in the preceding stands. After leaving the finishing mill, the rod passes through a pickling device and is then inline water-cooled before passing through a state-of-the-art floor detector. The rod is coiled in a fully automatic basket coiler where both concentric coils and rosette-type coils can be produced. The coil dimensions are weight 3,000 to 5,000 kilos, outside diameter maximum 1,800 millimeters, height approximately 950 millimeters. The coils, once produced, are processed through the automatic inline pressing and strapping device. Such rod can be used for at least 95% of all copper wire required by current markets and is normally drawn with multi-wire machines down to 0.3 millimeters. The number of wire breaks per ton until reaching this diameter will be comparable in all respects to the best copper rod available on the market by making minor adjustments during the annealing process. Commercial plant capacity ranges from a minimum of 8 to 10,000 tons per year to 80,000 and above. The combination of 2 refining furnaces and eventually the vertical melting furnace for cathodes gives a further boost to the annual output. During the past 25 years, Properzi has commissioned some 27 plants worldwide that produce FRHC metal, mainly for rod, but also for billets and slabs. You can make considerable profit by using FRHC Properzi technology. Continuous Properzi thanks SDI Lafarga for their kind cooperation.